into a pick and ban. But yeah, in terms of your prediction, what is your pick actually?
I mean, I have the script in front of me, and I think I was the only one saying ITB is going to win the World Championship, and it will be a rematch in the final between ITB and Solary.
Okay, you could see the picks briefly on the screen on our predictions, with Spam also betting for ITB winning here. Here we are with the picks and bans being started. It will be first ban courtesy of the Karmine Corp, followed by the ban from ITB. Then, of course, ITB, courtesy of having the higher seed, will be having that first pick. So, Surf will be the first ban coming from the Karmine Corp. Then Dive, following afterwards, Tempest will be your opening map.
Yeah, Tempest and Twisted are being picked. Dive and Surf, pretty default pick and ban that we've seen very early in the middle stage event. And Tempest and Twisted just confident picks here for the teams. And also KC performing really well on Twisted, just showing and delivering the goods. So a lot of maps still open. Backflip also still open that we have not seen today, if I recall it correctly. And I think it is a bit of more time to bring now on for Mime and Afi, but there you go, we have Valley also being in this map pool.
Yeah, they managed to kind of ponder their thoughts on what is the best course of action to actually pick as map 3 to avoid leaving yourself at a bit of a vulnerable window of opportunity for KC to try and snatch 2 back-to-back maps, which could potentially be putting a serious dent into their grand final aspirations, as now it is time for the Karmine Corp to try and take their time and basically try to weigh out their options. Cosmos, Tubes, GeForce, Edge, and Backflip left in the running to be picked by the teams, and Tubes will be picked as map number 4.
Yeah, you could have seen them discussing there on your screen, but also Otag and Brent, they have nothing to lose. It is Mime and Afi who come into this match as the top seed, and so I do think that this could play a role, especially Brent saying he's very confident, and Otag also really living up to the expectations. And there you go, we have Edge also being picked here by Afi and his teammate. So also a very solid map for them. And now we have one more pick, and it will be Cosmos for Bran and his teammate, and then GeForce as the decider.
GeForce as a decider. Now, this could be very, very interesting if we get to that point. But yeah, very, very eclectic, of course, map pick that we've process that we've actually went through there. Tempest and Twisted as the 2 opening maps. This is a bit of a wild one on my opinion side.
Yeah, that was indeed a wild pick phase. Also, GeForce as a decider. This is something interesting. It was usually picked a lot of times, so that is very cool. Also,
yeah, it's quite uncharacteristic. In there. It's quite uncharacteristic to see it as the last. As a decider map. Usually this is one of the most picked maps in the entirety of the map pack.
Yeah, and maybe we could not even see this map here, as we are starting here very soon with our first map. It is Tempest. That is the first pick from ITB, who are the top seed, and the top seed always starts to pick the first map.
Indeed, Twisted with the jump spin core feature of this particular map, jump spins that you need to get down to a T, especially those 2 jump spins marking the identity of the map, where you have 2 very different approaches. One that is somewhat low speed, quote unquote, about 280 kilometers an hour, and a very shallow entry into that first jump spin, and then the second one about 320 kilometers an hour due to the booster that comes before it, and then a lot more aggressive of a turning point and a lot more of a longitudinal approach to that second jump spin to go as low as possible. As, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting started right here, right now, with Karmine Corp versus Into the Breach. The second semifinal is underway.
The second semifinal is underway. The question is, who will join the 6 times world champions in the grand final? It is Bran and Otag who are the underdogs in this match. I think that is just something that we can mention here. And Mime and Afi, they have to perform, Bran and Otag, with no pressure whatsoever.
Bran and Otag indeed having a little bit more of a relaxed mindset, a bit more of an open frame of mind to try and tackle this match the right way, as we already see Mime unfortunately sliding out midway through the ice slide, and thus will be relegating back down to 4th position, promoting Otag up into 3rd place. And yes, Mime will be definitely stuck in there, and that will be prompting an attack from Otag to try and slide himself into 2nd place ahead of Afi at the start of Sector 3.
Yeah, Afi is also quite far behind right now, 0.2 of a second, and Otag going for a different approach here, feels more comfortable with that, losing a bit of time with that, but only 600 of a second, and Bran on a great time, but touches the wall there and doesn't make it. So Afi will get that victory, securing a draw for his team, because Mime was completely stuck there, as you could have seen it there on that ice section. So good start for ITB, that Afi was able to capitalize from the mistake from Bran there.
Yeah, this is great damage limitation there on the side of ITB, taking taking advantage of a little misalignment, a little discrepancy, the timings needed, and the rotation needed for Brent to clear the second jump spin, seeing him barely touch, clip the edge of the plastic block that covers the bottom of the second hole. So indeed, ITB had a bit of a rocky start with Mime's unfortunate exit from the ice slide, but ultimately they managed to make lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah, they have made it here eventually, and now off to a very good start on this map. I mean, it's their first pick, but look how far ahead they are already. Bran and Otak not really matching the pace here at the start, as they are 0.28 behind. That is quite a considerable gap, but also the world record for Muda here on this map in the previous match was just so good.
I couldn't believe it myself. Over a tenth of a second faster than the time from Stubbs that has been standing since the middle stage. Right now, Otak having a really solid round, with Brent just falling a little bit on the back seat, about 6 to 7 tenths down. And look at this very aggressive inside line on the part of the man from Samalo to try and fight for the lead versus Mime. Barely got the trigger at the checkpoint there, but does not get the proper amount of speed through that section. He goes for that no spin jump that he's become famous for there, whereas everyone just goes for the full rotation. And then on the second jump spin, it will be going very low for Afi, but this time he does the same as Brent. Mime will be retaining the lead. Otak second, Brent promoted up to third, and it will be another draw that ensues.
So now Afi pulling the Brand there, unfortunately making a mistake. It's another draw, so ITB cannot really utilize their map pick so far, but still, I mean, 2-2, nothing has been done. It's not like it has gone down south for ITB or KC in general. It's not a 5-1 or 6-0 scoreline, so it is not too bad here for either of those teams, as Afi gets a really good start here. Look at that, touching the booster as the first person, and then there's Mime also in there. So again, very good start from ITB.
Very strong start from Afi with a great exit from that ice slide before the setup for the wall ride. Mime joining him to make it a tandem of ITB in first and second at the end of the first sector and through the first jump spin. Now following along with Brent through the ice slide, trying to go for a late apex, trying to get as close to the flag mast as reasonably possible. And now the gap still stands around. It's still a quarter of a second between first and last, and now we see Mime getting really slow and having the clip of the right front, just like we witnessed a few matches ago with Solary. And now this is the window of opportunity to salvage another draw there for KC, as Afi looks to be completely untouchable.
Yeah, Afi is so far ahead here. Otak will not come closer with that line here, as he finds himself still a bit further behind Afi here, but also Brand not really going for the attack. I think they're just going to take that and just wait for more mistakes happening, and also a good time from Afi is setting a new PB. But I mean, Afi and Mime just it is good that both of them are just crashing one by one and not both of them making a mistake in this round. It could have been detrimental for them if both crashed in the same round.
Yeah, just take your time. This is only round 3 that was being played, so just no pressure. Take it as you go. Take it at your own rhythm. The opportunities will come eventually. It is all about avoiding that case of the red mist, where you just get too much adrenaline going and then these guys just start boxing and completely throwing rounds into the bin. So far, it is Into the Breach that will be coming into the lead of the race, with Afi leading ahead of Otak and Brent, second and third, with Mime about a quarter of a second down, having troubles of his own at the first jump spin.
Yeah, the adrenaline that we were talking about was the lightheadedness from us on the last match. So if you guys haven't seen this match, it was insane. I mean, I stumbled across my words because this match was just so breathtaking. And I mean, this wording then also gets its meaning across there. But right now, it looks to be like another draw, but Afi demoting to P number 2, make it even P3, not really getting the best trajectory here. So Otak and Brand are really living up to the consistency that they were showing on the first day, and Afi here also with a mistake. So this will be an ace for KC, gaining momentum and going into the lead. Otak with a good time as well, a 0.40. So KC in the lead of ITB's pick.
Yeah, it is a really good time. I think we should put that into perspective, considering what we saw about an hour ago. But yeah, it is very strong performance from Otak. And yeah, that consistency pays off. And yeah, those opportunities, as I say, they will come over the course of the match. It has come here on round 4 on Tempest. And this allows Karmine Corp to build up a lead of 3 points.
Yeah, 3 points of a gap. So far in 4 rounds, ITB could have only gotten 3 points. So nothing really too good And there you go. Now again, a good start. After maybe overheating a bit there, losing a bit of time, but still got it across quite well. Bren now 0.4 behind. The start from ITB is just superb. Yeah, it is so good.
That was a really, really great start from ITB, and unfortunately, KC left to try and find some solutions to cause some of that lost time. Mime going a little bit wide at the exit of the ice slide. That is going to be prompting Otak to move back up into contention for second place, and actually almost hitting the same clip that he did a few rounds ago there, Mime, on that little dirt road with the right front. But Otak is right within contention, 0.4 P2, but a little bit too far behind to make a move stick for now.
This could be the counter ace there for Mime and Afi. Otak will lose a lot of time, sacrifice a lot of momentum there, and Afi's also on a very solid time there. Oh my god, Afi so close there to the identity, and there you go. That's the counter ace, and good times here. 0.4 and 0.5s from Afi and Mime. It is 6-6. Cool match so far. Yeah,
cool match, and yeah, they were really quick to pick up on that ITB and immediately retaliate to the 3-point gap that KC was able to inflict them in the previous round. And now, again, the scales have been evened out, and yeah, this is very much slim pickings here heading into our 6th round, I believe.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's round number 6. True that. 3 draws, 2 aces, and now it's round number 6. There you go. The scoreline 6-6 here, and there you go. So Mime and Afi again with a good start, but Afi falling a bit behind, and also now Bren and Otak on par with them as they have gotten the pace around in this round.
Yeah, indeed. Going through the particular ice slide. Oh, Bren, yeah, that was looking way too racy, way too close to actually hitting the flag mast. He was forced to overcorrect and thus loses a lot of time due to the fact that he has quite a bit of trouble to regain grip, and he's completely out of the running in this one. About 4/10 down for now, as currently it is his teammate Otak who takes up the slack and tries to mount a challenge versus Mime for the lead of the race. Let's see how that shapes up in the 2 jump spins. Mime still leading by about 1/10.5. Again, Otak going for this signature no spin line. Currently still Mime leading by about 700ths of a second. Now the final jump. Otak trying to carry a bit more longitudinal speed, trying to go for a bit of an earlier landing, trying to carry a bit more speed through, and he will be able to make the move stick and take the lead. What a great finish, and what a snipe on the part of Otak with a 0.528 versus a 0.553 for Mime, and KC will be retaking the lead, and both teams on map point number 1.
And both members from KC winning their individual fight there by a couple of hundreds, so great job there. Going into the lead, only in need of a victory, whereas ITB also has track points, but they are in need of an ace. They have already done it, but they've already conceded a round with them being just 3rd and 4th position. Mime and Afi now with a great start yet again. Look at that. Very solid. Bren already a bit further behind, but also Afi jumping maybe a bit too far there, and it allows Otak to overtake him, as his eyesight was something that Bren unfortunately lost the gear on, or didn't get the best gear change there, as look how close that round here is.
This time the ice slide comes through clean. He makes it just at the right edge of the flag mast, and currently still Mime locking horns with Otak and Bren locking horns with Afi. Still 2 separate battles to keep our eyes on as we head into Sector 3 and the identity right now, with Mime still holding on to the lead, but by the tiniest of margins ahead of Otak, as Bren also continues to hold that 3rd place aloft, as we can still see maybe a draw being enforced. Or can Otak try to do something? No, he bumped it. He's forced to respawn. Can Afi try to go for the snipe to get the ace to validate the map? The answer is a no. It will be a victory that will allow ITB to once again even out the playing field. 9-9 at the end of this round, and it could very well be overtime.
It could very well be overtime according to how many draws we have seen. So track point it is for both teams. Every victory would lead into a winner of this map. Of course, ITB being the upper seed, so they have picked this map first, or they have picked first and picked this map here. But look at the start here from Bren, looking very good, but also Afi, Otak, and Mime are coming a bit closer, whereas Bren didn't get the best line there. And Mime almost clipping the hole, so good line from the Polish player, and that is another good round that is brewing up here, as Afi losing a bit of control there, but still finding himself in that fight for that 3rd position. Oh, Bren almost clipping there, but look at that, it is so close yet again. Oh, Afi now needs to rely on his teammate, lost a lot of speed there.
That was a great low line in the first jump spin on the part of Mime to get himself into the lead of the race, but right now it still looks like a draw scenario that KC will need to force this thing into overtime. Can Otak try to go for a little bit more and try to go for the lead overall to get that first map and immediately pick the ITB pick away from the blue side. It will be a little bit further to away than Otak would have hoped for to try and make an attack on the Polish player from ITB, and it will be a draw that will see us into overtime with a great time. This would have been world record potentially a few rounds ago. Actually, maybe not.
It was
like
a
22,
yeah,
22.5. That was a 25 millisecond difference, but that is an insane time. A 0.25 from Mime as we head into overtime.
And here we go into overtime. Tempest was a really good map for KC in the past, so I'm a bit surprised to see this pick. Maybe ITB felt a bit too comfortable on this map, but also KC just performing. But let's see who is gonna win this map, because overtime means it's do or die now. If you lose the round, you will lose the map. And it is Otak with an okay start, and look at that jump here. Just getting himself at all speed, overtaking Afi there.
And this time it's Brent trying to mount a challenge for the lead. Now we actually have a three-way fight for the lead with Otak regaining a little bit of form, and now Afi making so that the whole group is regrouped within 0.2 of a second from first to last. And this time Otak trying to move ahead into the split. Mime going for a much more inner line. Bit of a later apex maybe on the side of Otak. Can he take advantage of that to move through this reverse booster section? Brent, Mime overtaking Brent for the lead. Can Otak retaliate and try to get the win for the Karmine Corp? We're going very, very low as possible for Mime, but it's Brad versus Mime for the lead, and Otak making it a three-way fight. This is insanely close, too close to call. It's down to the line. Mime will survive in the lead for 49 thousandths of a second compared to second, and 64 milliseconds ahead of third, and thus we go on to overtime, take two.
Yeah, take two of overtime. What a good ending there from the players, and this is a very, very good map to watch already. This is what the series is about. I thought actually that ITB would be a bit more dominant, but just KC putting out the pace here and just delivering a very good fight. So it is 11-11 here. Mime with another good start. Afi not too far behind either.
Afi currently still sitting right within the right group around the top three, but Bren being left a little bit behind, about a 10th further down compared to that top three group currently led by Mime and Otak, who are going to be going toe-to-toe. This is a flashback to 2021 Challenger League's inaugural season. Those two going at it throughout the entirety of the season, with Mime in the end prevailing to get his spot into TMGL. Same for Otak in second position, moving on to Sector 3.
Afi and Mime are leading the round right now. Otak, however, can still get it here in the ending. Bren is 4 seconds behind, so Otak needs to win this round, else we will go to map number 2, which would be Twisted. Oh, Otak with a good line though, all eyes on him, let's focus on him. He's right now leading the round, he can make it happen. Otak with a good approach there, Mime with also a lot of speed. Otak with a good landing as well, will it be enough? It will be enough, it is 12-12.
Oh my goodness, Otak putting a great game of brinksmanship here throughout this entire identity, with the audacity to go for the much shorter parabolica in the second jump spin to land as early as possible. Even though it costs him a little bit of extra distance, he still had the gap and the speed to make up for it. And thus we go on to overtime, attempt number 3.
Especially the speed he has accumulated on this identity. So good line there from Otak, and also this no spin first part of the identity really works out well for Otak, so he has that figured out. And I mean, I think he also went for that, I think, like in the first event in the middle stage.
This is very much his signature line that he tends to fall back on for the most part in the first part of the identity. That's why we see him do it so often.
Yeah, and look at that. Afi now leading the round. Mime, Otak, and Brenna also in there. It is so close between all of those players. This will come down to the identity again. This map is also so good to watch here as we see all the players approaching the backward section now. Bren with a good line there as well. Afi and Mime are in the lead. Bren barely getting the checkpoint. Afi with more speed. And it is Mime, Afi, and Otak fighting it out here for that victory on this map. It is so close between them. Afi currently not having the upper end. Bren with a good line. Otak in the lead as well together with Bren. That's an insane jump, but 3-2 respawns. What is going on? Who's gonna win this round? It is Mime, but the question is who will get second place? No, third place, I mean. Afi with another mistake. It will be Bren. We go into overtime, part 4.
What a race right up until the end.
What is going on?
We are served in terms of shenanigans and script flipping and anything else you can see. A lot of, I don't have the proper word in English, I'm gonna use the word in French here. A lot of rebondissement, as we say in Moliere's language. But yeah, 4th overtime in a row in the very first map. Remember, there are at the very maximum stakes still to go like that.
Yeah, this could be a marathon, guys. And right now it is so hard to watch, to see who's gonna pull the trigger. Bren was able to stay ahead there, but now Mime with a mistake. Afi has to perform. This is KC having the upper hand, but Afi showed a good performance. Brand touching there as well. Will still stay ahead of Mime though, which is really important in this individual fight. But who will get that first place? Afi. What was that line?
Afi pulling out all the stuff to try and remain ahead of Altac at all costs, as his teammate is currently sitting 1.5 seconds down compared to Brand in third place. Otak trying to retaliate, trying to make the move happen versus Afi. They're almost side by side at the checkpoint. Otak getting the trigger a little bit earlier. Afi retaining the lead after the good acceleration through the no jump spin line through this first jump for Otak, retaking the lead away from Afi just before the second jump spin. Can he make it stick all the way through? The answer will be a yes. Can Brent make it through the final obstacle? It is a yes. And after 4 overtime attempts, it will be the Karmine Corp winning ITB's map pick on a 15-14 scoreline.
What a match that is so far. KC winning after 10 plus rounds, I think. We had 3 draws to start all off with, then like 4 rounds in a row, followed up by a 5th round and then 2 aces. So we have had a lot of rounds on this map. And there you go. It is Tempest going in favor for KC, taking away the pick from ITB. And that's what we were talking about beforehand. Maybe it is advantageous to play a map or a match beforehand.
Yeah, there's probably an advantage to play a match beforehand, and also that more open frame of mind that you were mentioning about taking it a little bit more relaxed and easy to try maybe pick your opportunities away a little bit better as we make our way onto the map of the 1,000 corners, the Tour de Course feeling track that is Twisted, which is a Karmine Corp pick, so this is very important, that first victory that they picked up on Twisted as round 1 is underway.
Round 1 is underway, and let's follow Otak with a 103.735 as his PB. Let's see what Brand's PB is. 0.70, pretty solid. And I mean, we've seen a new world record from Carl Jr. here in that previous match. And also Mime and Afi now showing good pace in this first round, as Otak already fell a bit behind. Brand, Afi and Mime fighting it out, and this could be a very good start for ITB.
Through the first snake run we go, and it's a very, very close fight at the top 3, and Brand managing to keep it somewhat close to the inside. Afi and Mime managed to keep it sticking a little bit better, but the exit speed will be benefiting the Karmine Corp player right now, who sits in the lead, goes for a bit of a different setup for the triple right-hander. Really nicely done there on the part of Brand to move into the lead with a .188 at the split before the start of Sector 3, with Otak in prime position in 3rd place.
Yeah, it looks really good for Otak to maybe even overtake Afi in this corner. Looking really good. The tables have turned in this round. Brenner over with a mistake, and also Mime with a small touch. Otak will get overtaken. It is from being ace. No way, what is going on? It was a back and forth all along. Mime and Afi were leading the rounds. Then it was Otak and Bren leading, and just at the ending, Mime and Afi got sniped by Otak, and it is only, quote-unquote, a victory for ITB. What a messy ending.
A mess of a finish, isn't it? Indeed. Yeah, round 2 underway, and that was such a strange ending as well. Of course, Brent going a little bit too tight, and Otak falling off, and then we had that little slight touch from Afi, so subtle, just a few pixels before the finish line. That was so unfortunate to happen. So ITB still in the lead, but could have been so much more promising in that opening round.
For both teams, KC could have well taken that ace there as well, as we see another close round developing, and that's why we love Twisted. Otak leading the round right now. Mime with a good line as well, but I think Otak is also on a very good time here as Afi comes closer again. Mime and Otak, who both promoted into TMGL in 2021. It is Afi taking an insane risk, and look at this here. This is so close between them. Otak in the lead though, and Mime is not slowing down.
Mime is absolutely not slowing down, making the move onto Otak for the lead of the race to try and make it stick all the way through. Afi looking poised to try and make a move as well, trying to pose an attack, but this time it's Karmine Corp's turn to retaliate with Otak salvaging the draw with a .847. Mime and Afi will have to do with 2nd and 3rd place. Brent unfortunately fell back a little bit too early in this round to be able to make any kind of impactful results happen in favor of the Karmine Corp.
But again, only 0.1 of a second between 1st, 2nd and 3rd there, and now Brent with a no slide though, so the 2nd consecutive mistake there, and the momentum could heavily swing, or will heavily swing now towards ITB. Otak not with a good drift there either, so Afi and Mime, after 2 very hectic starting rounds, finally have some room to breathe and can get an ace.
Yeah, through the first hairpin in the first snake run of the map, and yeah, this is looking like a very, very difficult round to tank for Brent and Otak. They just have to basically endure that round where they just gave away the lead to Afi and Mime through the triple right-hander we go. A little bit of a bounce on this side of Mime, getting a nice close third apex, but costing him a little bit of time compared to his teammate Afi. 0.175 of the split at the start of Sector 3.
Yeah, so this looks like an ITB ace, but Bren is not slowing down. Came quite close here to Mime, who saved a bit too much. Only one Carling, so Bren can't deny that. Mime with a very good approach though, and will have a bit more speed, and there you go. It will be the ace for ITB, and also a good time from Afi, just 0.37 away from the world record. So ITB going into the lead, 4 points ahead now, finally being able to redeem themselves.
Not having the start that they would have hoped. Like now, Bren and Otak, they might be trying to keep themselves sticking to the plan, just trying to play the map to the best of your ability to try and salvage something, because if they pick this map, it is for a reason. We saw Otak being scintillating over the course of the weekend, driving 0.7s on a regular basis. Let's see if the man from Samalo is able to replicate that feat here on the semi-final. End of the Sector 1, it will be Afi, Mime, Bren and Otak regroup together within less than a 10th.
Yeah, less than a 10th. What a fight is happening here between Bren, Otak, Afi and Mime. Mime also with a good line. Bren with more speed, going into that very, very speedy section that ends into a drift here. So Bren leads the round. Let's follow Otak. 4-horse battle still going on between all of them. Afi with a good entry, but sacrifices a little bit too much speed. Bren still leading Otak, his teammate, also joining him in a 0.20 checkpoint, and there you go. Afi, Mime and Otak are fighting it out. Bren is nowhere to be seen here. He's a bit further up, but maybe drifted a bit too much there in this corner. And also a small touch there, I think, from Otak has come in, but he's still going to the lead. Bren and Otak can do it. That's looking good, but Otak with a no slide. Oh, Mime will overtake Afi or Bren. It will be Afi in the lead, and that is another victory for ITB.
What a race from Afi there, and that's gotta be frustrating there for Bren, even though he doesn't really show it. Takes a sip of water and decides, okay, this one I should really get back into focus, because now ITB is on map point number 1 of their own after having completely missed the mark on their own pick. That was Tempest. It will be very, very important for them to be able to capitalize on the Karmine Corp somewhat trifled start in this particular iteration of Twisted to actually get the upper hand.
It also looks so close here between them. Just a couple of decisions, small decisions are deciding the round. Mime and Afi were just leading, and then all of a sudden it was Bren and Otak again. It looks so close, but look at that. Afi and Mime can use their first opportunity to win on Twisted.
Indeed, they are perfectly in sync. 20 thousandths of a second between first and second at the splits. Perfect setup, almost perfect from Afi. Barely grazing the wall on the inside, gifting the lifeline that the Karmine Corp so sorely needed to stay alive at the very least for one more round on this map. Let's see what time will be given to the stopwatch by Mime as he makes his way through the final few sectors. Otak trying to catch up a little bit to the Polish driver, his fellow rival from Challenger, but no mas, it is not working with a 0.775. This is a more than respectable time, courtesy of Mime. But top and bottom for ITB means that the map win gets delayed at least for one more round.
Yeah, one more round, and also 4 points is not the worst possible outcome to be in, because 2 aces would mean that you also win the map. So ITB still not out on that one just yet, and KC, they have picked this map. So keep that in mind, and also Afi now with a good start. Oh, and look at that, Otak and Bren, they have to defeat Afi in this route.
They have no other choice than to pull 2 back-to-back aces if they want to actually flip the gap from 5 points up to a single point of an advantage over the ITB guys. It all starts now. It all starts with this sector, the start and the sector 2, the end of this snake run right there. And this time it will be Otak slotting himself into second place. But that little touch from Bren is going to be incredibly costly for the red side as Mime slides on through into the lead, overtaking Otak, even promoting Afi up into third place in the same process. 0.132 for Mime at the split before the start of sector 3. Otak trying to make it a good fight to try and at least salvage an individual victory for the Karmine Corp, and he goes on down to work. Afi clipping, but it won't matter as long as someone finishes second on the ITB side. It will be the case. It will be the map win for ITB. Second and third means it is a draw, and it will be a score of 10-5 for the blue side with a 0.752, the round winning time for Otak.
Yeah, so there you go, ITB taking away KC's map pick, and now we're gonna go to map number 3, which will be Tubes. So gonna see this map again. A hectic map comes into play. So the score has been equalized, and of course we play up until 4 map wins, so still a long way to go. And after that we're gonna have the grand final, which will be played up until 5 map wins.
Yeah, and this is a very good map that ITB played, not only due to their performance on the track,
I know
but
it's Valley, sorry, not Cube.
it is
after that.
Yeah, it is a Valley that is going to be up next for our third map. But as I was going to say, it's a very important map for ITB because they managed to trade the map pick that they got stolen from the Karmine Corp at the beginning of the match with Tempest. So this is very much kind of counteracted the balance of power a little bit, and now we're back onto something where ITB are looking to try to answer back to Karmine Corp's very, very dominant first map win to try and actually capitalize on the momentum from that map to continue building on forward.
Yeah, to continue to build this on forward as Mime gets a good start. Of course, we're going to see Tubes after that, and it will be Edge, Cosmos, and GeForce as the decider. Afi with a mistake though, so he is dropping further down the line, and Mime now has to deny. Reminds me of the start that we've had on Tempest. I think that it was Mime, however, doing that mistake, and Afi getting that first position, but still not looking too bad here from the Polish player, as Bren gets a good line there, but Mime with so much more exit speed and also good checkpoint, a .098 from Mime, finding himself in the lead, and it is Bren and Oltag on second and third.
The gaps have been stretched quite far out wide since the start of Sector 2, actually, which is kind of amazing to see, which is something we haven't seen at all over the course of the previous match. Mime, Bren first and second. Can Bren try to get a little bit of gap back compared to the Polish driver? It doesn't seem to be the case, as Mime will be cruising through to the finish line. Bren trying to go for an inner line, but he's way too far back, and that's a 107.880 for Mime, already punching on the table and saying, yeah, I can also do pretty significant times as well.
Yeah, solid time there from Mime, right? I mean, this is just great. So what a time there from Mime, just 800s away from the world record there. So you love to see that. And now we go into round number 2, as Afi wasn't able to perform in that round beforehand, but now he finds himself in the mix and doesn't make a mistake in this corner here. By the looks of it, good approach, jumping so close there over the wall. This looked way too close for comfort.
Really, really low jump indeed on my side as well. Afi taking the lead at the split, and unfortunately that little hit of the Neon side with the left front tire will be condemning Bren to the depths of 4th position, condemned to the Shadow Realm as we go on to this long left-hander into the Otak, going way wider compared to the rest. Doesn't manage to capitalize on the speed that he's able to carry through, and so he will be left at the mercy of both of the Knights from ITB. Afi and Mime in the reverse order. Mime leading his teammate by about a 1/10 of a second. Poland and Switzerland currently at the firm top of the standings through the first gate, nice and clean. Otak trying to make it a bit of a close fight, visually speaking, through this first jump, but it will not come through as Otak is even forced to respawn at the second gate, and Mime will be clocking in a time of 108.178, 2/10 dead clear of Afi, and thus it will be the ace for ITB, making the gap 3 points in their favor.
Yeah, solid round here from ITB, Bren and Oltak. They had to push it. Oltak went for it, but he was too far behind to make it count, and also, of course, had to risk there due to that. So it is an ace 4 into the breach. So let's jump into round number 3, where KC has to act. ITB with a comfortable lead. Afi and Mime looking good, despite doing that mistake in the first round.
Yeah, indeed, they're looking very, very good. They managed to make amends. Afi managing to make amends very, very quickly, as early as round 2, after that unfortunate wall hit in round number 1. This time the Swiss also looking very, very stout, looking to go a little bit higher this time around. Maybe he heard us over the counter to adopt maybe a bit of a safer approach, but in the meantime, it will not change the outcome of the first sector, where Mime and Afi lead at the split, but Bren is still to be in a pretty significantly favorable position as he continues to fight for second place.
And it is Mime again being on a monstrous time here, 40.09 checkpoint here. Geek, this could be another 0.8 or even beating the world record from Pack if he gets the ending across. So great and solid pace here, but also Afi all of a sudden just jumping into there, and his approach was just having a bit more speed. What a good fight between them. Mime, Afi and Bren fighting it out for the top positions, but it seems like Afi and Mime will go hand in hand to the ending. I think those are 2 times below 108, and Afi not quite yet, 0.10 behind, but Mime with another good time, and it's another ace, most importantly.
I mean, still, a .044 is nothing to scoff at, right, in this particular instance, and that's a particular World Championship, but back-to-back aces for ITB as they make their way through the next round. It could be a 4-round deal, actually, on this map pick from the blue side. 7-1, 2 aces worth of points in the bag.
Yeah, 2 aces worth of points in the bag, and also what KC is in need of in order to equalize the scoreline, but Mime is just unstoppable on this map, and he just is driving it through here as Otak now gets also a really good start, finds himself in the lead. Good backside there from the 18-year-old player who has also played the Grand Final last year.
That was such a clean buck slide there on the side of Otak through Sector 2, assuming the lead to try and at the very least extract one more round for KC, but that's a great buck slide on the side of Afi. Bren also not looking too shabby. Otak now under threat for Mime, and Afi versus Bren for 3rd place. This is going to be a dual battle, and now has been promoted to a single dual battle as Mime does battle with Otak for 1st place, and this time it will be the pole cracking under pressure and hitting the chicane. Otak doesn't make it through the gaze.
Mime with the earlier respawn.
With the respawn, does Otak have enough to finish? Yeah, no, he doesn't make it through. Oh, that is such a painful sight to see. And with this, it is indeed a 4-round deal concluded, a 10-1 for ITB.
Yeah, so Mime there, this mistake really helped him because Otak also crashed there, decided to continue and commit. I mean, he had to go for that, but Mime with a quicker respawn, finding himself in the lead, just having more speed. Because you have a freewheel section, you cannot accelerate, you're just rolling, and there you go. ITB now going into the lead, and let's go to Tubes now.
It seems as though we might have had a bit of a tactical timeout requested by, I would assume, the Karmine Corp. But yeah, let's take a little bit of a look at Tubes, which was the opener a little bit earlier on during the day. And yes, the staircase, the few highlight sections, the staircase, then the Peef-Paf section through the right, then the left. You can allow yourself to dip the tire into the water. Here you cannot afford to do that since it is platforming. You will lose all grip. And now through the pipe flips, with the final pipe flip requiring about 3/4 of a rotation before canceling, and the proper bounce on the water to make it on all 4 wheels to go across the start-finish line.
It seems like it was ITB really needing a bit of time to warm up and come into the match. I mean, after that 14-15 loss on that first map, they were now able to redeem themselves, also winning map number 3 in just 4 rounds. Yeah,
indeed, and we just got the word that there was a technical issue that has been requested. It looks like on the part of the Karmine Corp, as there is a little bit of activity over on the Otak's setup, as there might seem to be an issue that popped up there. We hope it will be getting results soon enough so that we can get back to green flag racing.
Yeah, so right now ITB leading 2-1. KC has tech, but I do think that this map would really turn out in their favor. But what does that tactical timeout do to you? Maybe that is also something of a mental reset that could happen for the likes of Bren and Otak, who just lost 10-1, which is very, very dominant.
That is quite the hammer drop that Into the Breach did onto the mindset of both Bren and Otak, presumably. But yeah, that little technical timeout, even though it wasn't really the purpose, it can also be the opportunity to, as you said, having a bit of a mental reset and try to freshen up your mind and try to refocus yourself onto what the job at hand is, and that is to say, drive as fast and as consistent as you can.
Yeah, but also Afi and Mime, what a solid performance on this respective map. It looked so clean on Valley from them. Just this one crash that has happened. Of course, they were capitalizing from Otak's mistake there as well. But that's just how Trackmania eSport sometimes works. Sometimes you get 2nd or even 1st position when you do not expect it.
Yeah, sometimes you can always expect the unexpected. As we always say, anything can happen in Trackmania, and usually does. And it never is over until every car crosses the finish line, and take the checkered flag. So this is why it is so important for these players to play the rounds to the best of their ability, as we are finally getting back to green flag racing with map 4 underway, that being Tubes.
Yeah, Tubes is being played here as well. And let's go ahead with Otak's POV, or maybe let's follow Bren. I think he went for a different line on this map because he jumped so far into the staircase, if I recall it correctly. Yes, he does. He goes for a nosedive, and look, he just gets way more speed than the other players, finding himself in the lead right now, leading by 700 of a second. So this could be a highly competitive map between them. I mean, KC picked this map so you have to keep that in mind.
Brilliantly executed staircase there on the side of Bren, as you pointed out, but currently it is Otak currently in a little bit of a backseat, and this time we had a little bit of a dip of the left front into the water that I was talking about on this platform section that has cost Afi pretty dearly, and now it's all about Mime to try and force a draw here on this opening round on tubes as we go into Sector 3 right now with Bren still holding on very, very nicely versus the Polish driver from Team Into the Breach,
beautiful.
and that is the very, very nice first flip landing, and now Otak trying to go on a charge. Look at the speed he carries through. Mime trying to compensate with the lower line. It is not enough to dislodge the man from Samalo, and thus the Karmine Corp will be able to come away with a victory here.
What a great round there from Otak and Mime. I thought for a second that Mime has good speed, but then Otak was like, hello, I have even more speed than you. So very, very good ending there from Otak, the talented 18-year-old. And, well, this was just a very good round. Unfortunately, Afi has crashed there. So hopefully he can survive in this round, as Otak and Bren getting a really good start here yet again. And also here, Bren with his signature line just gaining so much time there.
Otak and Bren actually similarly going for that same kind of approach actually on the staircase. Maybe a little bit higher on the side of Otak, but both having roughly the same idea. Now through the wall right we go after the first pipe flip, and it's looking really good for Otak as he goes toe-to-toe with Afi for second position. This time we have learned the lesson from round one, and we are avoiding any kind of water contact there on this platform. Here you can, as you have dirt to kind of like dry your tires out as we head into Sector 3, and this time Mime on the back foot and Afi under threat for second place.
Oh, but just when you say that, it is Afi crashing the outside corner, and that is a prime position for Karmine Corp to extend their lead to 5-1, but Bren will not get the gear, so Mime will have more speed here and can overtake him. Oh, but Bren is still slightly ahead, but will get overtaken here, so this is another victory for Karmine Corp, extending their lead, and also a good time from Otak, a 103.81. Only quarter of a second behind Mime's world record. Yeah,
and that is very important, that little capitalization on the mistake from Bren that Mime just did to avoid Karmine Corp going into like score runaway in a sense, to prevent them from straying way too far out of reach from the ITB boys as we're making our way through round number 3 here. It is the Karmine Corp still leading with a pretty, I say it's a pretty decent margin to start with. 2 points of a gap at the start of the first 2 rounds. As we make our way to Sector 1, it will be the pipe flip into the wall ride, and everybody regroup within a 1/10 of a second with Otak just sliding back.
Yeah, Otak not with the best amount of speed there, and also not really getting that drift across here, but everyone surviving, and Afi a bit more conservative, tapping the brake a bit too much, falling behind the line, and this looks like to be another victory round for KC right now. Look at that. Oh, well, I mean, Bren going for a backflip there instead, and all of a sudden it's Afi and Mime first and second.
The Sector 3 entry is where it all came undone for Bren, barely grazing the wall on the outside. This time it's all up to Otak to pick up the slack, but he takes advantage of Afi's absolutely appalling landing into the first pipe flip, but Mime will be completely untouchable through and through. It will take the win with the 104.172. Afi makes it a victory for ITB to bridge the gap back down to 1 point, but Bren, yeah, as I stated, that little touch at the exit of the turn just before the start of Sector 3 is really what set it all off, and ultimately resulted in that 6.5 second deficit in 4th position.
And also the holes are consisting of plastic, so if you hit that in a in this kind of fashion, you just bounce away, and that is what happened to Bren there. So it is 4-5, 3 victories in a row here. The first one for ITB on this map. So far looking very close. And look at that beautiful line there from Bren. So much speed accumulated there from the 2019 Zerator Cup champion, where he played together with Kaljin, who he could meet in the final, but this time not as a teammate, but as an opponent.
Yeah, this time it's Otak who has a little bit of a rocky landing at the wall right section just after the first pipe flip, so he will be relegated to close to a second down, I think, judging by the splits around 0.8 of a second. Currently it is Bren leading by quite the margin, actually, about half a second ahead over Mime in second position, going very close to the outside wall there on this dirt right-hander. Now onto the first of 2 pipe flips here in Identity, and Bren immediately sensed that it would not pan out, and he was forced to respawn. It's up to Otak to try and make something happen. He goes a little bit faster compared to Afi there through that first pipe flip. They're still side by side, fighting for second place. It will be Otak prevailing to guarantee at the very least a point for the Karmine Corp. But now, in the space of just 2 rounds, ITB have evened the scales yet again, 6-6.
Mime and Otak with a great identity, but what was that start from Bren? He was almost half a second ahead of Mime there.
That was really cleanly executed.
Effortlessly from him, so great round there from Bren, and that just shows his background. He has played a lot of trial and RPG and of course the Zerator style maps in the past.
Indeed, as we're making our way through the next round, which is going to be round number 5, since we've had draws from the first 4 rounds onwards. Now, through this first sector, the split is right there, and everybody regroup within about 65 thousandths of a second, going through this first split with Mime catching up to his teammate Afi, this time Otak getting the landing he needs to make it through safe, nice and clean, and keeping up with the top 3.
0.04 of a second between the players here. Look at that, such an important round for them as it is going neck and neck in this section. Afi falling a bit further behind, but Mime with a mistake. But look at the speed from Afi here. Never mind, I was actually thinking that he lost more speed in that corner, but look at that. Afi now with a mistake, and Brennan Oltak have the chance to go into the lead.
Watch out though, those 2 pipe flips have been proving troublesome so far for the Karmine Corp, and it's proving troublesome for Otak this time around, allowing Afi and Mime to move up into second and third, although Otak is within striking distance still of Mime. At this present moment, can he try to compensate? He tried to go A+ for effort. A+ for effort for Otak. He really tried to go for the full send and then with the lowest line possible. But in the end, it is a draw, and both teams on map point. For ITB, it would enable them to take their lead onto a 3-1 score, and for KC, it would be to taking this game into a technical best of 3.
Yeah, everyone except Bren there with a slight mistake, and was just a couple of tenths that have decided this very, very close round for the second position, and it was a draw, so this track point, as you have mentioned it correctly, and we see Otak and Mime now utilizing it quite well, as they are looking like to have a good start, but also Afi and Bren are in there, and of course Bren so far ahead. Look at that, 0.1 of a second it is for him, and it is again looking like it's high here. Oh, but Mime hitting the water, you could have seen it there. This is so costly, and I mean, it could be a best of 3 series, as you've mentioned there, because Bren and Oltak are swarming out into first. Afi is half a second behind. Look at that, it's their round to lose.
It's their round to lose indeed. Right now it's down to Afi to try and bring at the very least 1 point home on the side of ITB. Can Bren and Otak make it through nice and clean through this final part? Otak, actually Afi wasn't that far faster compared to the man from Samalo. They're going to be going side by side through the final flip and the final bounce, and it will be Afi going too low and clipping with the right rear. 104.031 for Bren. Otak in second place, and does the Karmine Corp even out the score 2-2 in the series.
Yeah, 7-10 it was here in favor for KC. What a great series so far. And now we're gonna go to Edge. Cosmos will also be played after that, and then GeForce would be the decider. What a map this all is decided for. So guys, what a good match so far. Also great performance from Bren and Otak on this map. Just capitalizing, just getting wins after wins, but also not really like getting defeated, and everyone or just one player from them is performing in those rounds where ITB got a victory.
I think the only map that kind of went against the grain was the first map, was Tempest, because those were that was maybe the only map where the gap was very, very significant. Also, Twisted was looking very well, actually, Twisted was a pretty significant fight back from ITB.
Valley, 10-1.
As I said. Yeah, Valley 10-1 as well, and Twisted was also looking to be a pretty hotly contested map at one point, but here we go then, from best of 7 to best of 5 to best of 3 we go. Map 5 underway, it is Edge's turn.
Yeah, Edge, an RPG-style map, as you've seen in the intro. Mime with such a close start, they're almost hitting the checkpoint, and it is him together with Afi leading, but Otak not too far behind. I think this is a very good map here for Afi and Mime, but Afi not with the best line. They're losing a lot of speed there. He cannot even make that jump, so he's out on that one, as we see Otak, Bren and Mime fighting it out here for that top spot, and that is a prime position for KC to go into the lead.
This is the opportunity that they need right from the outset to try and actually make a bit of an impression on the ITB duo right now, making our way through the reverse booster, and now it's still Mime fighting on, soldiering on to actually get that lead position to get a draw enforced. But right now through the transfer, can we see a lower line from Mime? A little bit of a clip, manages to make it through. Otak has lost that second place in favor of Mime. Can he try to go for broken, go for first place? Let's see how it goes over the final jump. Bren will be holding on with a .222. What a time as well, with a .3, low .3 from Mime as well. Nothing to scoff at. Otak in third manages to guarantee at the very least a victory for the Karmine Corp.
Yeah, the level is insanely high there, and we can also see a DNF from Afi here, not able to finish. So it is Bren with a new match PB and the first position. Mime not too far behind, who also has a good time, a .25 on this map. But there you go, Gwen is being in danger maybe, as he has a 104.04. Maybe gonna see a 103 on this map.
Who knows, maybe it could happen, because I've been waiting for that day since Gwen did that world record, I'm thinking there's gotta be a 63-second run somewhere. It's gotta be in there. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be witnessing it in some points in the last few moments here of this 2023 Trackmania World Championship. Currently, Otak and Bren with a really solid start to Sector 1.
Yeah, it is ITB's last pick. Keep that in mind. And Cosmos was picked by KC, so they could really go into the lead. It could be a 5-1. They just have to hold on here. Mime is not the slowest player in this ending. Gets a really good section there. Oh, Bren with a readjustment, losing a lot of speed, but Mime crashing there and will not be able to make that quarter pipe jump there as well. So it's Bren and Otak's round to lose, as Afi also has made a mistake. So look at that. Otak and Bren will take it and will go into the lead. It's 5-1.
What the stopwatch will say for Otak, it will be another 0.2 in the books, 0.235, really decent times. The level is very close, but right now it's KC who have the upper hand, and you were telling the level was really close in this match, and the first map can actually attest it, just to correct myself there, as Tempest was 4 consecutive overtimes after we reached 10-10. So yeah, even though the showing is 5-1, there is a lot more layers to just one simple score.
Yeah, and 1 or 2. Like, if 2 players make a mistake in those rounds, it is just so costly and just gives the opponents 3 points to work with, and 3 points is just so much. Even denying that ace is so important. And now Afi and Mime are getting a really good starting section, but also Otak and Bren not too far behind. Otak with a very good line here, and look at that line here from Otak, just overtaking Afi here. What a great section from everyone is getting that one nicely, but Bren clipping a little bit, and look at that. Otak is still leading the round. Afi and also Mime in the mix. This is so close to call here. Otak is getting it across, but where is Mime?
How on earth did Bren get away with that clip at the bridge? I thought for sure he was going to be completely over and out in this round, but this time he's going to be catching up with Afi and trying to mount a challenge for second position. Otak still holding the lead steadfast by about a 1/10.5 of the second. Afi second, Bren third. The positions will stay as is up until the bitter end. Mime forced to respawn once again. The time, 0.155 for Otak with a 0.3 in the books. For Afi, Bren in third will guarantee the victory for Karmine Corp, who move on to map point number 3.
Otak and Bren have flipped the switch there. What a great performance from them on all of those maps. I mean, also Tubes, it was a 7-10. Maybe Valley 10-1 didn't really go in their favor, but they were also not picking that map, so you can't just give this away, as we have also seen it with Dive, for example, happening today already. And they go 2-7 it is, and KC with track point, they could go into the lead and only then 1 map away of reaching the grand final.
Afi with a little bit of a bobble at the exit of the checkpoint 2 corner, and here we find Otak at the bottom of the leading group, but immediately counteracting that poor start with a great jump into the ramp right now, heading into the bridge section. Bren will be clipping once again, second time in a row that he has a massive clip there, and he gets away with it by some reason or another. I'm even losing my voice just trying to react to this, but currently, Brent still holding on to that lead, but Mime in hot pursuit. Third place for Afi.
Bren with a very good round here. Otak is very far behind, but Afi and Mime, they need to find at least 2 points in this round. Afi with good speed, but Bren is quite far ahead. Also now Otak coming closer to Mime. Oh, this is, I think, the position set in stone unless Bren fails the ending, but no, this is not the case. A 0.30, a 0.37, a 0.50, and then a 0.62. And last place, it is a draw, and slowly but surely, KC moves on to the 10-point threshold.
I still can't get over the fact that Bren got away with a clip that was even more, times 2, and this one was even more consequential potentially compared to the clip that he had the round before. So this time it will be Afi barely grazing the outside wall, which we've seen actually a few players do, including Massa, just before the jump, completely compromising your jump, and thus there is the Swiss 4.5 seconds down at the split into Sector 1.
Yeah, so Afi is 4.5 seconds behind. Mime should get first, but he clips there. How does he get away with that as well? I thought that he would get a slowdown, but Bren and Otak are just chasing him down. They need first and third in order to win this track to their name. And then we're going to move on to Cosmos, which is their final pick. But Mime looking strong. After that, if they win, or if Mime wins the round, they only need 2 aces. Only, quote-unquote.
Yeah, only quote-unquote, but right now Mime in charge of carrying the backpack for ITB in this round, with Mime still holding on for first place, but very, very slow from the transfer. This might be the one that settles it all here on Edge, with Brent still holding the lead. Otak trying to make a challenge for second place, but it will not happen. The positions will stay as is. 0.205 with a bit of a bunk at the finish line to give a bit of a heart attack as well, for good measure. And this will be a 10-4 score for Karmine Corp, who retake the lead 3-2 in the series.
What a great performance here from Otak and Bren, both setting insane fast times there and just keeping up the focus. And now, I think, just coming from the underdogs to have a realistic chance of making it into the grand final, where they play against Pack and Carl Jr. against Team Solary. We will have Cosmos now being played as the penultimate map.
Penultimate map, and this is actually a Karmine Corp pick, as a matter of fact. So this is the first of 2 maps that they need, that they can actually rely on to actually get that spot in the grand final. If ITB wins, then it's on to map 7 that we go, and it's going to be very, very important to capitalize early on in the very first rounds at any kind of mistake from ITB, because I'm suspecting that ITB are not going to take this loss lying down and are going to try to fight back really, really quickly.
Yeah, and I do think that this one additional match for KC really helped them as we move on to Cosmos. The last pick from KC, Mime and Afi, they have to win this map, else they are eliminated on 3rd, 4th position. So there you go, Bren and Afi with a good start. Otak with so much speed, but overtakes his teammate Bren, who didn't get this transition too well.
Indeed, Afi currently still holding on the lead, as we see Mime and Bren battling tooth and nail for 3rd position right now at the exit of the top-down perspective view that concludes Sector 1 and marks the start of Sector 2. Currently, it's Otak, Afi, Mime. Mime catching back up quite nicely, actually, and leaving Bren in the dust by about 0.4 of a second before we head into the reactor boost part, marking the end of Sector 2 and the start of Sector 3. It's Afi, Mime moving into 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, 1st and 2nd, but Otak not giving up. Very good line here from him as well. Good apex there, chosen by the talented player from France as he goes into the lead. Very good line there from Otak. Oh, and look at that. He is ahead, taking so many risks, so much speed gathered up there. And it is Afi and Mime who are chasing down Otak here. Can they overtake him? I don't think so. No, but Bren can overtake Afi, and he will do so for the victory for KC.
Afi with a bit of a slower exit from that final corner, which prompted Brent to immediately take advantage of that with a perfectly executed full inside line there to get past the Swiss man from ITB to allow themselves to get that round win.
What a great performance from KC. It looked like a very solid round from ITB, but Otak just with a great performance in that round, showing why they have picked this map. And we go into round number 2. Everyone surviving it, no one clipping, Bran currently leading. Oh, and everyone getting it so well here. Look at that, pixel perfect from all the players, but Afi and Bren have gotten it just a little bit better, so that's where they're leading by 0.2 of a second.
Afi, Bren then just leaving Mime and Otak on their own to do battle on their own, but this time it will be Otak being completely left as Mime takes over 3rd place permanently here, and now mounts a challenge for Bren's 2nd place coming up into the end of Sector 2, with Bren looking to go a little bit further on the inside of the exit, currently still holding on to 2nd place and still holding a quite decent gap, about a 10th to a 10th and a half compared to Mime. Now Mime going on the offensive, trying to impress the Frenchman from the Karmine Corp, but he is a very, very tough man to impress, soaking the pressure up really well, heading into the final few corners.
Oh, Bren with a very good line, going over the edge there, and goes into the lead. And look at that, it is Bren and Afi fighting it out. Mime also coming closer. This could be the ace for ITB. Mime with a lot of speed. It will not be enough. Bren not crashing into the wall. And it is a victory, and 2 PBs here from Mime and Afi on this map. It is a victory for ITB. It is 3-3. What a close series.
Afi going for the full send in the meantime up front. That was such a treat to see, even though we were witnessing that from maybe Brent's perspective and Mime's perspective from the battle for 2nd. But what an ending from the Swiss player from ITB that must absolutely be commended, getting a new match PB as well with a 113.257 in the books. And already we find one of the players from ITB on the back foot, with Mime being very, very slow, and Otak this time, Bren rather, being very slow, and started Sector 2, already a rift between top 2, bottom 2.
Yeah, so Bren wants to accompany Mime there for that battle for 3rd position, and also it is Afi and Otak fighting it out for 1st place. Very important round for the teams to take home, as Mime has the upper hand ahead of Bren right now. He is, but Otak with a great line there, accumulating so much speed there, and finds himself in the lead. But also Afi, good setup for that drift here. where it is really important to get a good line, but also you can lose a lot of speed by going too far to the right there.
I am very, very curious to see what the stopwatch will say of Otak's performance in this run, because he's looking to be on an absolute blinder of a lap right now. 103.238. This is looking very good for a 113.1.0, maybe even a 112 there, as we see Bren's perspective right now, holding on to third place nicely. Mime crashing into the pole on the inside. 113.168. Part of Otak, and Bren in third place will guarantee the victory for the Karmine Corp, who are now past the halfway mark.
5 points away of reaching the grand final, and there you go. ITB from beating Solary. Now Solary's in the grand final to get demoted to third, fourth position. I mean, they are the favorites going into this match of taking the first seed against Team Solary in their group. But let's focus on this round. It is not over just yet, as Otak, Bren, Afi and Mime all get a good start. Everyone holding the gear, but Otak over the best landing here, and it is Afi and Mime batting now with Bren. That is their chance to come back into this map.
It is their chance to come back, but it's also now Bren's duty to pick up the backpack, as Mime tried to do on Edge this time here on Cosmos, and he's going to have a really, really tough fight, because Mime is coming back at him right within his rear bumper to try and challenge him for the lead. And we see Afi making it a very, very tightly knit pack and a very, very neatly tidy trade for first through third, and Bren continuing to resist the assault from Mime. Before how long much more can he hold on as Mime continues to go on the offensive at the start of Sector 3?
Oh, what a line from Bren there, going into the lead there, beautifully executed, but also Mime and Afi not too far behind. It is 0.1 of a second between them. Bren had some great identities in the past, and he will try to replicate that again, but also Mime not too far behind, and also Afi, they tried to overtake him. Bren should not crash into the pole there as well. Beautiful identity from Bren, securing the first position with a 112.92. Insane time, 3 PBs in 1 round.
What a run from Bren, 112.923, just a few embers away from equaling or even beating Gwen's record that is still standing since the middle stage.
Yeah, what a great time there from Bren, as he is really delivering the goods here, but now gets the nose slide. This could be very costly, as the speed just compounds and just stacks up there that you need, and he will slow down even more. Now Otak has to win the round, else we're gonna see an equalizer or even the lead for ITB.
Otak taking up the mental and actually jousting with his old sparring partner from TMCL and now TMGL. Mime currently still holding onto the coattails of Otak's rear bumper. About 23,000 at the previous split. This time it will be 85,000 between the two at the second split through sector number 2 here. Moving on to this reactor boost bar before the 90 right that goes uphill before heading back to flat. And now Mime again taking advantage of a really, really great exit to move into the lead at the start of sector 3.
Yeah, what a good line there from Otak, I wanted to say, but he overheated a bit, and this is the chance for ITB to regain control. Mime in the lead, Bren and Otak with 2 individual mistakes, and that's what I was talking about, Tom. If both members make mistakes, it is detrimental, it is lethal, and it can lose you a map.
Indeed, as Mime and Afi have a clear road ahead. Mime finishing in first with a 0.322, and that will send them in the lead with a 2-point advantage over the Karmine Corp and map point number 3 of their own. They need a single victory to make it so that we play GeForce.
There you go, GeForce is the decisive map. I would really look forward to that, but of course upsets are always fun. A Cinderella story in that way, and KC is bringing up a great fight. Unfortunately, 2 individual mistakes have gotten ITB that ace, but hardly any ace has happened so far for ITB in this round, because Otak and Bren just played so good.
Now the big question is, how quickly can Karmine Corp bounce back? Because unfortunately for Bren, we had a really bad landing at the plastic bar midway through the first sector. It's all down to Otak now to try and salvage at the very least a draw. He cannot afford to go for a second position. Otherwise, we go on to GeForce for sure. Currently, it's Mime and Afi trying to make sure that the draw will not happen. What an entry from Mime. Looks a little bit wonky there, allowing him Otak to move up into second position, but Afi still completely untouchable at front.
Yeah, Afi with an insane start here. 50 seconds have elapsed, and he finds himself in the lead. This could be it. ITB could take this map home. Otak needs to find a first position. Bren is 2.5 seconds behind, and Otak has nothing to lose here. Only this map if he doesn't get that first position, so that is still quite a lot. Afi with a good line. Otak tries to push it, but it's not enough. We're gonna go to GeForce, the decisive last map.
And what a map to end it on. GeForce is going to be quite the sight to behold here on this as contested as can be second semi-final, Kai. I'm so excited. I'm starting to get the shakies actually just watching those few maps unfold here and there. I just look forward to see the last few rounds as we get to decide who will join Solary in the 2023 Trackmania World Championship Grand Final.
Yeah, will it be the upset that KC will make it as we are going to a last decisive map? It is GeForce, and here a lot of mistakes can happen so quick. One break tap too much and you could be respawning all the way back to the checkpoint beforehand.
Yeah, respawns can be extremely costly, especially that first sector checkpoint. If you miss the bug slide and don't get the trigger, you lose the best part of 4.5 to 5 seconds on that respawn, sometimes even more.
Yeah.
So you have to be really on point with your timing of inputs as we get started with the first round of the final map of the second semi-final.
And after that, we of course still have the grand final, but the question is who will join Solary in there. ITB or Karmine Corp both bringing up a great fight, but it's Otak with the first small mistake, and also Bren 1 second behind. That is a dream start for ITB on this last thrilling map here of the series.
Mime and Afi thus taking advantage of the trials and tribulations of Otak. Otak having had a really harsh landing with the side of the car first that ultimately prompted that 3-second gap to widen up, and then I'm suspecting Bren unfortunately had a little bit of an issue with the dirt zoop at the end of sector number 1, and thus the road is really clear ahead for Mime and Afi, currently having a 6-10 separation as we head into sector 3. It will be the man for Poland currently holding a really nice lead.
Yeah, very comfortably. 3.3 seconds mean they can go for the safe finish here. They cannot go for the jump there, but I mean, if they feel comfortable, they're gonna do that anyway, and you can see that Mime and Afi are just doing that, and they get that ace across. Good time as well, 1:12.45. He could have saved it there. So it is 3-0 for ITB, and that is a good start for them coming into this map.
Great start for them, but yeah, the Karmine Corp looking to try and set that round aside as quickly as it ended right now, saying, okay, we are done with this one. We just need to settle ourselves back, and you can see already, yeah, just a little bit of a scratch of the neck there for Otak, a little bit of a sip of water, maybe a little bit of hydration that could help a little bit on the physical side for Bren, but both just keeping themselves focused on the job at hand, that is to counteract that ace.
Also using that non-finish time there, or that he didn't finish, as a sort of timeout to reset, to talk to your mate and be like, you know what, I got you, everything is good, let's just refocus, let's recoup here and try to win the pot here, as Bren gets a good start here in this round and no one makes a mistake. Afi not with the best zoop there, but just by the first look, he's still in there and fights his way back into this map.
Still holding onto the back of the third place car that currently is belonging to Otak. Currently Bren heading into the lead with Mime in hot pursuit. Through the bobsleigh 180 turn we go. Everybody avoiding the clip at the top now through the ice slide. Unfortunately, we lose the mid corner for Afi, thus demoting him down to P4. Mime trying to take already the mantle to try and enforce at the very least a draw to try and keep that 3-point gap alive, but Bren is giving it a really red hot go to try and dislodge the pole from the lead.
Yeah, Mime and Bren are fighting it out. I think Bren has a bit more speed here to work with, and this will be an important victory, but also Otak coming close here. This could be a sniper from KC. This is so important. Mime is getting demoted to 3rd position, and it will be Bren and Otak getting that ace, and the score has been equalized. Insanely important ace for them.
Mime trying to go oh so low, a lot lower compared to the Karmine Corp guys, but ultimately it resulted in him exiting the wall ride a little bit too early, and thus being put in a little bit of a corkscrew spin with the wrong direction, thus heading onto the side of the finish, still getting the trigger, but albeit half a second down.
Yeah, half a second down there, but Mime, I mean, all like 1 or 2 kilometers can stack up so much there, and also Bren setting a new PB, by the way, a 1:12.11 here for him.
All right, here we go then for our next round. The ace immediately counteracted 3-3 as we start round 3 now here on GeForce. Currently following along with Brent through the jump into the bobsleigh entry. This time everybody making it nice and clean. Otak doesn't have the same mishap as he had at the opening round here on this map. Now through the dirt slide, it will be Bren leading at the split. Mime sliding on through into 2nd place. Top through bottom will be about a 10.5.
Yeah, a 10.5 between them, and also Otak with a great approach, going so outside there. on that cruise control section, and now he finds himself in the lead together with Bren. But here important to not wobble too much and also get a good entry into this third soup. Oh, but Otak is sliding out. Mime and Afi can't capitalize from that mistake, but Bren is still there to deny some points towards ITB.
Can he try to catch back up to Mime? Currently Mime enjoying a pretty solid advantage of about a 10.5 to manage the work from up front in the field. Afi currently completely left behind, just gonna have to leave it all to his teammate from Poland. And this is going to be a huge mistake from Bren. That is an unfortunate landing, completely tanking all of his forward momentum. And that is going to be gifting the ace to ITB on his silver plate, who immediately fight back just like a tennis game. It will be ITB retaking the lead 6-3.
What an unfortunate wall ride entry. I think that was a slowdown. Maybe he clipped his wheel there on the transition or something like that. So Bren not finishing there, and the momentum, of course, now goes back to ITB. KC already did it. They already denied or just answered with the counter ace, but they have to do it again. It is 6-3. ITB jumping a tremendous step closer towards the grand final.
Making a solid step forward to that grand final spot against Solary. Let's see if the Karmine Corp are able to retaliate with an ace of their own, or at the very least a victory, to try and start eroding away the 3-point gap that had just opened up over the course of the past round or so. End of the first sector, and it will be Otak, Mime, Bren, Afi, separated by 0.2 of a second, and currently the Swiss man is on the hunt.
But what a great performance here from Bren and Otak. Completely different compared to the match that we've seen against Well. That is a completely different pace here from them as they are leading right now. They can answer with the ace. Will someone set out Bren with an insanely risky approach there? It's just getting it through there, but Mime is not too far behind here, but gets a little of airtime. Bren and Otak with a good line here, and look at the checkpoints. A .20 checkpoint from Otak. Mime with good speed here as well. Overtaking Otak here in this sector, and Mime can do it here. Mime can deny the ace from Bren and Otak. Goes for a lot of speed there. Can he overtake? Mime looking strong. Let's follow Mime's POV. Can overtake one, but he cannot overtake Otak. Is it enough to overtake Bren? It is enough. There you go. What a round. Imagine being last with a .14.
Imagine being last with a .14. What a time from Otak, a .042. And that snipe from Mime, so important and determinant even to the outcome of this game potentially, as it only allows KC to bridge the gap back down to 2 points, and now they have a lot more work to do over on the French camp.
This was such an important ace to deny. 6-6 or 7-5 is a tremendous difference there, and ITB with match point. If they get the ace, it is over.
Oh, unfortunately, it looks like that might be the first piece of the puzzle falling into place with that unfortunate too far inside dirt zoop, courtesy of Otak. It's all down to Bren to keep the dream alive for the Karmine Corp. Try to give a little bit of extra hope to the blue wall that is continuing their unwavering support to their Trackmania lineup. No matter the game, the blue wall is still there to support their players, and right now they need all the support they can, as currently Bren has to soak up the pressure as it is currently being pushed on by Mime with a really great exit. It is going to be all to play for at the identity there.
Yeah, Bren also with a great checkpoint there. Mime is not too far behind though. Goes for his signature line. Bren has to hold. Mime with a good line. Is Afi coming close? So I do think that we're going to see another line, but this will be an insane time from Bren. Who is going to win this round? No, he will not. It is a 1:11.92. 4 from Mime, overtaking Bren in the last block here.
You know the score. Checkers or wreckers, ace or bust for the Karmine Corp. 9-6 in favor of ITB. As long as someone can split the red side apart, it is game over and a grand final spot in the books.
A second place is needed for Afi and Mime, but imagine KC is getting the ace now. Then we could jump into overtime on the last map, the way we started the first map on Tempest. But let's see what will happen here. A lot of pressure is on the line. Mime not with the best start. Afi, Bren and Otak fighting it out. Afi needs to be on second. Oh my god, Bren going so close to the wall, as well as Otak. So much is on the line, but none of those players are falling behind whatsoever.
Afi being demoted down to third place, but Captain Karmine Corp stick, and Bren's clip with the right rear is potentially going to be the sealing the fate of the Karmine Corp in such an unfortunate way. Afi even taking advantage of that situation to move into the lead. Mime into second position, trying to finish in fashion with a bang. Through the identity we go with Afi in the lead by 0.2 of a second. Mime still holding on to second place ahead of Otak. Still trying to go for a lower line, but himself having trouble through that final wall ride. And hand in hand, Brad, Afi and Mime, Sebastian Voltaire, and Hubert GGeek. I spoke too soon! Mime falls off!
No way! What is going on? What is going on? Afi and Mime both have to respawn, and we go into match point versus match point. Afi and Mime are throwing here, and we are going into another round. What is happening?
I cannot believe what I just witnessed. I thought for sure that it was over. They had the round in the bag. It looked to be so done. Following that clip from Brad with the right rear wheel at the very top of the bobsleigh. It's all down to this one final round here on GeForce. Let's go!
Let's go. It could also be another round after that because it could go into overtime, but it's match point versus match point. Whoever wins this round will go into the grand final. Bren and Otak with a great start. Mime and Afi are behind, and they had it. They had it served on a silver plate, and they were not able to use it. But still, the map is not over. Bren and Otak are, however, leading by quite a comfortable margin. Let's take a look here. Bren not making a mistake this time around, and Otak and Bren can make it. What a Cinderella story would this be? Mime and Afi with such an insane lead here.
Bren and Otak have got it all to do. They got to get away through the finish line. Mime forced to slow down quite significantly. Half a second down compared to second place Otak. Bren has got it under control. He just needs to make it through the final two wall rides. The first one is nice and clean, maybe a bit slow from Otak, but it's actually okay, fair enough. The second wall ride will be the one to qualify the Karmine Corp for the grand final.
No. Wait. Bren with the reach. There's no way. We go into overtime. We go into overtime. What is going on? I cannot believe what I'm witnessing here. Mime and Afi still with another shot of making it to the grand final. We go into overtime.
Why does that have to happen at every time we try to call the winner? But the same way we concluded map number 1 of this game, we have to conclude on the very least one overtime attempt here. Still, the grand final spot versus Solary up for grabs. It's getting so tense here in Montpellier on this 2023 Trackmania World Championship Finals.
I love having GeForce as the decider. 2 miracles have happened, but now the game is on. It is Mime and Afi against Otak and Bren, and it's not over until it's over. And look at that start. It is a couple of thousands between them. Otak with an insane run here, but this part is the first decisive corner here. Bren with a great corner, finding himself in the lead, but Mime and Afi are fighting for it as well. 0.2 between them. Mime has to find the lead, but Afi with no speed, so it could go into another round.
Otak onto third. Can he hold the fort for long enough? And can he rely on Bren continuing to hold the lead all the way to the finish line? Or are we going to witness yet another overtime attempt going through here on GeForce? Mime trying to go for a bit of a lower line as he ever tries to do. Otak still sitting Civ ready in P3. Will the wall ride be the good one for the Karmine Corp this time? The answer is a yes! And with a score of 12-11, we go on to a Classico. Carlin Pack versus Otak and Bren. Ewan Egler and Brendan Seb have more than deserved their spot in those grand finals.
ITB will have nightmares about that mistake. What is going on here? Karmine Corp versus Solary in the final. But what was that? Both teams are... I'm speechless. I'm really speechless. But still great sportsmanship there from Bren and Otak, and commiserations to Mime and Afi, who just threw it away there, unfortunately.
I think you guys can still give him a round of applause wherever you are following, because that was quite some going, and both semifinals proving to be absolute treats to watch. Man, I cannot wait for this grand final, Kai.
Yeah, I can't wait for that, and before that, we're gonna jump into a small interview.
Oh my goodness, I need a moment to catch my breath, try to feel my heart and my words. After this absolutely enthralling 7-game series yet again, you can hear the voice is starting to act a little bit warbly there, but it's par for the course here on this 2023 Trackmania World Championship, given how close and how stacked the level is here with an insane 7-game series. Again, it's a 4-3 victory. Right on the dotted line, right on the ragged edge for Bren and Otak, who thus get their spot in the grand final between Solary and themselves. Let's take a look at the final bracket as it stands. Just one match to go, that being the grand finale, scheduled, of course, at 8 p.m. CET. Might be getting a little bit earlier. We may never know. There is the full rundown of the action from today. And you can see those two semifinals have really delivered quite the treats to match and to watch as well as to commentate. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show as much as we are enjoying covering it. And in the meantime, it looks as though we have the interview booth ready. Kai has Brandon Otak one more time.
What was that match? I already wrote down 12-6 for ITV, so I would have not expected you guys to stand here, but what was that? What is going on? Brent, after that landing bug there, I think that you had on GeForce, what was that landing?
Yeah, well, first I have no clue what happened for them. The one round where we aced, I have no clue how that happened. And then, yeah, I had a land bug like the very last jump.
Yeah.
Like it made me slow down instantly, and then we got a draw. And then luckily I kept my composure and I kept playing quite good. Otak did well as well. But, I mean,
I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Oh, so, I mean, Mime and Alfie heartbreakingly not making it. I mean, you had ups and downs in this match as well. But starting off with this overtime on Tempest, you were also playing so well there. So you just stick to the plan, but you improved compared to when you played against Wild. So what did you change in that break?
I have no clue, honestly. Maybe more confidence. I don't know. Otak was playing insane during the whole match. Honestly, he carried me, especially the first maps. He was playing so good. And then I tried to get on his level, and we did surprisingly really good on some maps. So yeah, I'm really happy with the result, and I don't know what we changed, but it worked quite well in the end.
It worked really well. So now it will be a best of 9. So you play one more, or you have to win one more map in order to be the world champions. What will you change over that course? I mean, you come from a very heated up match. I think you also need to calm down a bit.
Yeah, I honestly think we need a pause first, and then we could play the grand final. But honestly, we will change nothing because I think we played great. Even if I don't think with that match we would have won over Solari, honestly. But yeah, we will try our best. We're not that satisfied with the top 2, obviously. We want to win now. So yeah, let's get it.
Okay, so Brent, you already said that you're satisfied just before playing against Wild. So top 6 would have also been fine for you?
No, I'm satisfied with our level, but I'm not satisfied with top 2. We're trying to get top 1.
Okay, yeah, well, now you have to say the same, right? But of course, what a match. I think that was match of the year potential there, and congratulations again. Guys, we will be back after a break, and also a well-needed break. What an evening of Trackmania this has been. Thank you very much, Otak and Bran.